Hi, hello. I'm excited to meet you with a new post on my channel, Tamilian Speaking. The last post we saw how human ancestors hominin populated Ajarambakam, a place in Tamil Nadu. Now in this post, the subject of our topic will be how human beings, that is Homo sapiens, migrated out of Africa and reached different parts of the earth at different periods, especially when they populated India. Now, as you all know, the human beings, Homo sapiens, evolved on the earth 3 lakh years ago. Nearly till 1,85,000 years ago or 1,30,000 years ago, they stayed in Africa and populated almost the entirety of Africa. But in the period between 1,30,000 years to 1,15,000 years, they slowly started moving out. In this period, they moved out to Levant and Europe. Now, Levant is the present-day region which comprises the present-day countries Israel, Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, etc. And they also moved to Europe. Some people say it is as early as 1,80,000 years ago that they moved out. Now, how do we know this? Because skeletal remains and fossils of human beings are found dated to this period. So, can we say that this was the first complete migration of human beings? We cannot really call that as the first migration of the human beings because no traces of this migration has been found in human population, either in the DNA or in the Y chromosome. That means that this migration was a failed migration which left behind no footprint on the history of human DNA. Then the next migration happened nearly 1,25,000 years ago. It took place in two routes. The first route was the Nile Valley, Sinai Peninsula and Levant. The second route was through Bab el Mandeb in the Red Sea. Now it happened 1,25,000 years ago and the human beings populated the Middle East. Then 1 lakh years ago they reached South China. They reached UAE around 1,25,000 years ago and Oman around 1,06,000 years ago. They probably got completely absorbed by the Neanderthals who were prevalent at that time, and there is no trace of this migration also in either the Y chromosome or in the mtDNA. Now the most important migration, that is the coastal migration. This migration of the human beings happened 75,000 years ago, once again through the Bab el Mandeb Strait, and it reached Yemen around 75,000 years ago. After that, it spread to Arabia, Persia and South Asia. Around 65,000 to 70,000 years ago, human beings reached India, and from India around 65,000 to 50,000 years ago, they reached South Asia, and from there to Oceania, which also included Australia. Now, Southeast Asia at that time was a single landmass called the Sunda landmass, and Oceania at that time contained another landmass called Sahul, which contained Australia and New Guinea. So human beings around 50 to 65,000 years ago moved to Southeast Asia, and from there to Australia and Southeast Asia and New Guinea. Then from there they moved to China and eventually Japan. As far as Europe is concerned, the human beings from the Middle East reached Europe around 40,000 to 45,000 years ago and populated Europe. It is estimated that Germany was first humanly populated around 45,000 years ago, and Italy 43 to 45,000 years ago, and in Britain around 40,000 years ago. And eventually it is said that it reached Arctica, Russia by 40,000 years ago. But this population, it seems, was completely destroyed, or it was left in very insignificant numbers due to a supervolcanic eruption which happened in Naples 38,000 years ago, which almost wiped out the entire human race in Europe. Then again Europe was repopulated again by people from the east in around 38,000 to 36,000 years ago, and it is this population whose traces we found in the present day human beings. Then around 15 to 20,000 years ago, the population in Europe moved to the Arctic into the Americas. That is how North America and South America came to be populated. The last part on the earth which was populated was the Polynesian area. The Polynesian area includes Hawaii, places like Hawaii, French Polynesia, etc. And in this region, human beings came to exist only around 2000 years ago. Thus, the human beings moved out of Africa and reached different parts of the world. And this is the history of human beings migration out of Africa.